60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours. The clock moves quietly through it all, not rushing you, not judging you, just ticking. Time is one of the most reliable things in our lives. It shows up every day, steady, predictable, and always moving forward. And yet there's one sentence that appears in almost every coaching conversation I have. I just don't have time. And if you're honest, perhaps you've said it too. Recently, a university student I was working with said exactly that. She knew there were things that would probably help her feel better, like a walk, some movement, a short routine between study blocks. But every time we talked about it, the same sentence came back. I know I should, but I just don't have time. And the interesting thing was, she wasn't lazy, she wasn't unmotivated, she wasn't even exhausted. So we slowed the conversation down and looked at it together. And that's when something really interesting appeared. Because most of the time, I don't have time isn't about the clock. It's really about whether your system believes something new can safely fit. Most people treat time like a scheduling problem. If something matters, we just assume we should simply fit it in. We'll wake up earlier, we'll push harder, we'll be more disciplined. And that's what this student believed too. She kept trying to reorganize her study schedule, move things around, find a better routine, change her mindset, because she believed that if she could just get organized enough, she'd have time. And honestly, that's the story most of us have been taught. But the brain doesn't manage time first. It manages load. So during our session, I asked her to picture something really simple. I said, imagine your life is like a shelf. Every responsibility you'll carry is on that shelf. Work, deadlines, social pressure, family expectations, decisions about the future. And when she pictured that shelf, she laughed because it was already full. And I suspect that many of you can picture that shelf right now. So now imagine trying to place one more thing on it. For her, a walk, a workout, a new habit. And if the shelf is already full, your brain doesn't say, I'm overwhelmed. No, it says something far more socially acceptable like, I don't have time. So what do most people try next? Exactly what she had been doing. Push harder, add more rules, raise expectations. But pressure rarely creates consistency. In fact, we know pressure usually tightens the system. Research shows something interesting. When we feel pressure or threat, the brain actually narrows our attention and our energy. So thinking tightens and our system moves into protection. When something feels safe, structured, or even slightly uplifting, the brain does the opposite. Our attention widens and our energy becomes available again. Psychologist Barbara Fredrickson calls this the broaden and build effect. So positive states expand capacity. Pressure tends to shrink it. So we tried something different. Instead of asking this student, how do we find time? We asked a different question. What is the smallest version of this that feels safe to start now? So not an hour workout, just 10 minutes. Not a whole new routine, just a short walk between study blocks. And most importantly, we gave it a place to live. So not sometime this week, a real time slot, a real cue in her calendar. And once she followed through, something else happened. Her system relaxed because now the shelf hadn't collapsed, and her brain learned that this is manageable. And once that system learns that, it becomes easier to manage and easier to continue. So the next time you hear yourself say, I don't have time, I want you to pause before believing it. Because most of the time, it's not about the clock, it's about our capacity. So whether you're a student or a parent or a leader supporting other people, progress doesn't usually start when pressure increases. It starts when the next step finally feels possible. Remember, having enough time is often about whether your system feels safe enough to start and safe enough to stay.